Welcome to the Goddess Conjurer podcast and show. I'm Kristina Margaret, a holistic empowerment and sobriety coach. I'm also a spiritual badass and truth seeker. Join me as I chat with wicked guests who are down to get real with raw, unfiltered conversations inspired to help you level up your spiritual and personal expansion. So settle in, get cozy, get ready, and let's enjoy the ride. Hey guys, Kristina here. Welcome to the Goddess Conjurer podcast and show. Today I have the lovely Ashely Stobbart as our guest and speaker friend. Ashely is a massage therapist, a registered personal trainer. She's an energy worker and a nutritionist and all around beautiful soul. Thank you for being here, Ashely.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
So Ashely and I met probably 5 years ago, maybe now. We both worked in a metaphysical shop. I was literally just there for the Christmas holidays, and we just have sort of kept in contact since then. I'm really glad to have you here. Recently, Ashely and I ran a program together this fall. It was called Strong Spirit. It was a combination of fitness and wellness. And I really enjoyed our time together there.
Me too. I'm constantly reflecting back to the fall and just the moves we made and the conversations we were able to have was just so uplifting and so perfect for this time. So yeah, I'm constantly edging back in, and honestly, I have clients asking if we're ever going to be collaborating again. So
oh, that's cool. Maybe we should, maybe we should discuss that at some point then. Yeah, the program was the first time I've ever, other than doing a retreat, it's the first time I've ever run like a lengthy program with another person. I usually do all of that stuff solo. And you're really easy to get along with and to work with. I didn't feel any kind of competition or, no, it was just easy. So I'm really glad that we did that and had the opportunity to be totally down to do that again.
100%. It really the flow was just so easy. And it was one of my first times collaborating with somebody as well. And it's one of my first times offering something of that size, particularly in the virtual space. So
yeah, totally.
Kind of like stepping into something new. And it just went really well. So I was really happy with that. And I'm all for doing another one. I think it'd be really fun.
Cool. Awesome. Well, maybe we can look forward to that in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But you're on a new venture right now. Like you've opened your own like studio with a collaboration of people. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that? Because Ashely's local here to Vancouver Island. She's located in Chemainus. So anyone who might be interested in working with her after this, or who doesn't already know you, because we have a lot of mutuals together.
Yeah, we do, don't we? Are you just talking about the Hive down in Chemainus?
Yeah, the Hive. Yeah,
the in-person studio. So it's not something that I'm necessarily collaborating with in terms of ownership and things like that, but it's one of my really good friends, Sam, who is another beautiful soul that I've been working with for years, just kind of constantly interweaving ourselves in different projects. So that's fully up and running. It's like in the little old town area of Chemainus.
So are you teaching exclusively out of there now?
I'm teaching out of there. I have a couple just private in-person personal training clients there. And then I'm also offering personal training out of Lift House in Ladysmith.
Awesome.
And some mobile as well. I'm kind of sprinkled all over the place. Cool. But the space is gorgeous. They have a massive 2,000 square foot, beautiful yoga studio. I'm hopping back into yoga myself this coming week here, and the energy in there is just really nice and bright. And so anybody in the North Cowichan area that is looking for in-person group classes or maybe a personal trainer, definitely give them a follow on Instagram. I believe it's at the Hive Collective Co.
Yeah, I think so. I can
Yeah,
put their info in the show notes too.
cool. Yeah. Yeah. Sam's a beautiful person and I'm really, really excited for her.
Excellent. Well, anywhere to get into a yoga studio, I think is always awesome, especially out this way. There's not as many places.
Yeah, totally. It's nice to have.
So why don't we ask some Q&A about the world and about life. So I'd love to know what you think the world needs more of right now.
Oh, what doesn't it need more of right now?
I know what it needs less of.
Yeah, exactly. That's an easy topic right there, but I'm not going to go there. Honestly, I really think that empathy is something that's really been lost in this last few years. I think about it all the time. I think just opening communication with our neighbors or for us, our clients, our loved ones, reopening communication, because I'm not sure about you, but I found in this last little while that my ability to reach out and converse with people has actually really minimized because there's so many polarities out there right now. So I'm finding that my practice these days has been to get more comfortable with having conversations, and I've always had empathy. That's maybe why this last little bit has been a bit of a struggle. But I think it would be really valuable for other people to open their hearts and souls and communications into listening to the people around them and having beautiful conversation and getting some of this stuff back out on the table. Yeah, empathy, compassion, kindness is a huge one as well. But yeah, it just seems like a really turbulent time for myself personally, and I think that always comes when there's something really big, like a huge energetic shift coming. I think that really kind of digging our heels in and having those conversations, even if they're tough, again, is going to be really, really valuable.
Totally agree. I think that we lack real conversations so much in our society, and in that we have lost our ability to be compassionate, to be open-minded, to have empathy for others. I think that I did a episode a little while ago on how individual, trauma is, how individual trauma is as an experience to people. And you can be wherever you are in the last 2 years of our lives, but there's no way that you haven't experienced some level of trauma. And so for myself, when I see others who have struggled with being empathetic or compassionate towards people's choices that maybe don't align with theirs, I try to remember that they also are going through a traumatic event, and however they're responding within that event really, really does depend on their own ability to regulate their nervous system and what trauma brings to them as an individual.
Yes, I absolutely agree. Yeah, I'm absolutely on board with that. And it's pretty wild when you do kind of open up to that idea. And as you're having resistance or like a lack of communication with somebody, and you can kind of confront them a little bit, or at least be face to face with them, you can see just in the body language and the hesitancy and everything like that, that there's just so much going on internally for everyone. Yeah. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a background or some sort of funky experience in their childhood. And in these times when stress is really high, emotions are really high, it can be really hard to see outside ourselves.
Totally. And all of that just gets triggered even more when we're dealing with worldly events like we're dealing with now.
Yeah.
So it's so individual. That's been something that's been helpful for me as well, as just being compassionate and empathetic towards people.
Yeah.
To meet them where they're at.
Yes. Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree.
I also have learned to just accept people where they're at in a way of letting go.
Yeah. That's so funny. I've had a lot of those kind of inner dialogues myself. particularly with people that are super close to me, family members, things like that, where we're absolutely not on the same page in many ways. And
Yeah.
for years and years, I found myself just fighting to help everybody. But that help was kind of coming from a selfish place, like I wanted to bring everybody with me. I wanted everybody to heal. I want everybody to see. I want everybody to release. And that's just really not the case.
It's not the reality.
Learning to meet people where they're at, and just accepting them as they are and nurturing them with love. That's pretty much all we're able to do. And that's been a massive learning curve for me over this last couple of years. It's been extraordinary how much I've been going through internally and releasing.
It's so good for you too. Yeah, it's so freeing. And the thing with that, like, especially when it comes to like family or really old friends that are like, you would consider family, that have just sort of always been around, is that like, we feel obligated to keep people in our lives. Even before all of this crazy shit we've been living through, they probably never lined up with you. Like, they probably never aligned, but we just kept trying and kept trying. And some of it is for those selfish reasons that we, want everyone to heal, and that we want everyone to see the journey and the path the way we see it, because of course we see it as right. But recognizing that it's right for us and allowing other people to still go on their way can be so hard, because we're not really conditioned to let people go. We're conditioned to hold on to things and control things. And it just causes so much friction and so much pain and suffering that's so unnecessary.
Absolutely. The whole catchphrase, you can't pick your family. Well, absolutely. That's
you
true
can.
In a genealogical sense. But I think that learning to let people go, and, you can still love people from afar. You can still want the best for them and still hope somewhere in your heart that they find their own healing and their own realizations and stuff. But to be able to release and just let people go through what they need to go through, it really just declutters. Decluttering has been like the name of the game for me lately, just being able to focus on me, my immediate family, my partner and my animals and my business and everything like that. And the healing and just kind of hopping into your lane and nourishing everything in front of you has been
being responsible for what you're actually responsible for, which is only yourself. Like,
it's fantastic.
It's
so much. It's complicated still, but it's so much easier.
Like, maybe we could have been taught this at some point. It would have been really, really, helped us along the way to not have gone through so much turmoil.
Maybe the next few generations.
Well, exactly. And actually doing the work does allow the next generations to not have to go through that struggle, just as we have not had to face nearly the struggles that our ancestors and our lineage have had to go through in order to be here, especially as women. Right. So, our grandmothers would have never been able to sit up here and have a voice like we can sit here and have a voice. So we're doing so much healing for our ancestral lineage and for future generations, just being able to just be honest and be real. That's why we're doing this show.
Right? It's a beautiful thing. It's really cool to see if you do step outside of the very present and kind of look back and back and back. We are making moves. Sometimes it seems really sluggish and we kind of chase that immediate result, but if we stem back and back and back, it is actually pretty incredible what we've been able to accomplish.
And it's funny you using that language, because one of the reasons why I really wanted to team up with you, as you know, is because you've been so open about your own struggles with body image and with eating disordered or disordered eating, and still remaining in the fitness industry, which you were bringing me to something there. So that's like actually the main reason that I was really, really interested in working with you, is because you've been able to heal that on such a deeper level. and you're so open to healing that industry, if that makes sense. That you really don't see nowadays, as everyone's looking for a quick result. That's where I was coming back to with that.
Yeah.
So
quick fix is that's a really common phrase in my world for sure, especially
exactly.
in the industry that I've chosen. Don't get me wrong, I am always actively in a deep state of healing. A lot of those wounds from childhood to teenhood to my early 20s and stuff, some of them are still quite open, and it is like a continual space for me, like it is for all healing. We're always healing. But yeah, just these last handful of years have been just so much brought forth for me, and I find every time I kind of take a step forward, it really just opens up a whole new portal for me and what I'm trying to share and offer the world, particularly in the fitness industry, because it is a pretty challenging space to be in if you have the type of history that I do, which unfortunately so many girls and women and men even are experiencing or have experienced.
Everything we're inundated with, from the fitness industry is essentially based on like fraudulent, ideals.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's absolutely incredible and strong of you to have gone through what you've gone through, and turned that around to help others be active, have a positive body image, understand working out and fitness coming from a space of enough rather than not enough.
Yeah. It's been pretty amazing to be able to offer something of that magnitude, and every individual that I have the pleasure of connecting with, whether it's in person or in the virtual space, everybody does have a really deep story and a reason why they're there. Not that I even advertise that way. It's funny. I just kind of have become a beacon for people that are looking for something a little bit deeper in terms of health and fitness and diet.
But you've been open about your journey, and you've shared, and I think that creates safety for people. And so people feel safe to go to you, to know that they can say, hey, I've struggled with my body image. I still struggle with my body image. I struggle with food. I struggle with all or nothing thinking. I struggle with wanting a quick fix, and I'm sure that you have people that are also recovering from disordered eating or eating disorders that are working with you to regain a healthy relationship with their body again and fitness.
Yes. Yeah. A really solid percentage of people that are even just on my current roster are going through something in that realm. I won't go into details, not that anybody knows who I have on my roster, but some of them are pretty complex, and particularly in the Ashwood Wellness Collective, which is the 3-month online containers that I've been hosting. It's been really cool because we're coming up on the last week and a half of this first container, and hearing some of or reading some of the massive wins from some of the people that have been in this group is just absolutely incredible. Girls that never thought that they would be able to have this whole food sort of mindful, intuitive eating approach ever. They never knew that it could be like a positive experience for them. Most girls that come into, and men that come into training, have some sort of convoluted relationship with food. Whether it's just the belief systems around like good and bad foods, whole foods, clean foods, dirty foods, protocols, whatever it is, everybody has experienced it in one lane or another. So to see people coming at least close to, maybe not on the other side, but come close to almost healing their relationship with what they considered food, and dieting and everything, is so incredible. It honestly, it kind of keeps my healing process going
Of
because
course it
I can
does.
see this
Yeah.
energy continuing to shift. And
Mhm.
honestly, I'm far more inspired by my clients and the people that I work with than vice versa. It's pretty amazing.
Right.
Pretty lucky.
I think that like in all the work that we do with women or men, you work with both, it is about that ripple effect, and it is the sense of healing parts of ourselves. Like otherwise we wouldn't be doing it. It's giving us something. And in that is what's so beautiful. Like that's why I love group programs, because we all give something to the group. Everyone brings something individual that is special. Everyone brings something that's going to stand out to someone else in the group. Everyone brings something unique and is helping heal a part of another person, and they just don't even know it. And we're so often so afraid to jump into a container of group space, and we don't realize the beauty that's on the other side of that. So anyone who is ever, who is listening and who is always unsure of joining group programs, there is such a profound ability to heal within a group that you don't know until you experience.
Yeah. And I'll even add on to that, because if we dig back into the fitness industry side of things when it comes to groups, whether they're online or in person, is there is this edge that does make people nervous, because most online group training spaces are fairly competitive.
I was going to say, exactly. They're a competition.
Exactly. You're almost geared up against other people in your group and on yourself as well, like trying to join a lose 10 pounds challenge or get shredded for summer challenge. While the intentions behind some of these programs, because I do know people that do them, are good intentions, it does create a space where people are really nervous to hop aboard because they don't want to compete. They're already competing with themselves internally every single day. So to kind of sever that tie, there is that big difference when it comes to online group training and training in groups in person. You really do have to kind of put it out there into the universe and wait until you find one that really does truly resonate. Not a quick fix group, not a challenge group or competition group, if that's not really what you're searching for, but somewhere where you are supported, and we are digging a tiny bit deeper, which can be really hard to find in that industry, in food, in the fitness industry, in the diet industry, and even honestly, some places of the wellness industry and spiritual.
Oh, there's so much toxicity, and I think you can find toxicity in anything, right? Yeah. It just depends like where you're aligned.
Exactly.
So like it's, I quit dieting. I mean, you know my story, and I probably shared it on here too, but like I basically quit dieting a few months after I quit drinking. So it's been a few years now. And the roller coaster of like the relationship with my body and food has, it's been tough and challenging, but it's also been really profound over the last, probably year, where I've been consistently working out and not dieting. And I like to be transparent. So I actually did just join like a 6-week challenge, which is really something I was like, I'm not going to put myself through anymore, but I'm in such a different place. And it's funny because I also have equated my addiction issues so much with the behavior of dieting. That's why I said I wanted to quit dieting too, because there was all or nothing and black and white thinking and like go really hard and then destroy yourself. Like just all of these things that line up in there that I had to let go of. So it is a slippery slope for me, I feel like, but this challenge is so short And I already work out 5 days a week. So I'm looking at this as an opportunity to have harder workouts for a short amount of time. And I will not be competing against anyone. I actually won't give my weight. I already said I wouldn't give my weight to like sign up for the program. So I'm putting in my own rules that I know are because I know myself in the situation now. And so like, I'm interested to see how it's going to roll out. There is nutrition involved. I did tell my trainer that I would not be a pain in the ass because I tend to be probably. But I also know that I know how to eat. I know how to nourish my body. So it's going to be interesting coming from a place of deeper understanding, and a lot of healing has taken place, right? There's no competition. I'm not afraid to lose or not lose. Like I don't have a goal that's unobtainable. Like there's nothing like that going on, and it's taken a lot to get there.
Yeah. I actually know of the challenge that you're speaking
Yeah,
of.
I know. Of course you do.
Yeah.
Small world.
But I think that there is a little bit of a difference there, which is really beautiful in that you've taken a big break. You know, you've taken a big break and really stepped away from dieting. And I mean, if your body composition, if we go like a little bit more sciencey, fitnessy on you, if your body composition has remained relatively the same from what you understand, that means that you've been in a maintenance phase for a couple of years, or at least, right? That's where you're at in your count.
Yeah, totally.
So a couple of years of healing, not just your emotional and spiritual relationship with the process, but also internally. All of your physiological actions that are going on inside are going to be way happier too. So stepping into a challenge, just to come full circle and make sure that I'm not just putting one singular phrase out here, going into a challenge is definitely not a bad thing. So I'm going to say that to make it super clear. I think that what you said when you were describing that is absolutely that's the resonation right there, is that you have to have the right intentions. You have to really know yourself and know your limitations and your boundaries. And you have to know from what place the drive to do something like this is coming from.
Exactly.
If it's coming from an athletic space, which is kind of where you're at, you're ready for a new challenge, you want to kind of push that edge, that is wicked. That in itself is such a green flag that you're really just wanting to jump in and try something that's probably a decent amount more challenging than maybe what you've been doing now. I'm only saying that because I know some of the trainers that are building
Even though my trainer is like trying to kill me on a weekly basis, I'm sure. And like she's literally laughing about how much I'm going to die over the 6 weeks. So I'm really, but she means it with deep love.
Oh, for sure. We're all just like really loving masochists. we love to see our clients suffer because we know that they're suffering for something really beautiful.
Yeah. I really like, you're just nailing it, because it is really coming from this athletic performance, and like I am in a total place of maintenance, and my body composition has basically stayed the same for like, other than it like, being winter and naturally maybe gaining weight. Like I said, I don't know. I don't weigh myself. I know that that's a huge trigger for me. And so I stopped doing that when I stopped dieting. And so it's all just about what I feel like, what I look like. And like, I want to kick my own ass for 6 weeks and get stronger. I feel like that's coming from a good place. I'm going in knowing I'm enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's okay to want to be strong as fuck.
And be more.
Yeah. It's okay to strive for more, especially if that more is in strength and resiliency and all of those big, beautiful things. Building muscle and lifting really heavy shit it's so incredibly healing. It is so much fun. It's therapy for so many of us. And then there's also like real therapy. We can do real therapy too.
Like the
But it is this,
combination.
right there, it is this beautiful therapeutic space. So I'm really excited to hear how that challenge goes because the women that are building it are
They're
hardcore.
amazing.
They're
Yeah, I
awesome
know.
trainers. They're
Yeah,
beautiful
they're
people.
hardcore.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm so excited to hear about it.
Yeah, I'll hopefully be walking afterwards. Like it's I over the winter I got really into David Goggins, and I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's like
Oh,
he's a marathon runner, but he used to do like the most hardcore runs. He's a Navy SEAL. I listened to his audiobook. What's the name? So it's can't stop me, or
all right.
let me look him let me look at my library. He's crazy. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. So he was really inspiring, and he also and like you have to listen to the whole book, because when you or read it, I'm a listener because I don't have a lot of time to sit down and read. He comes full circle with his journey as well. Like he really was like killing himself doing these marathons and races and challenges, and was never enough. And I was reading it, and like he speaks with such conviction and passion, and he's so strong in so many ways. And I was like, fuck, like, does he not know that like he's just like re-traumatizing himself and reliving his childhood, and by like this corporal punishment that he basically puts himself through all the time is like just mirroring this childhood experience. And then he comes full circle and he like hits bottom, and he like learns to heal and get in his body, and how much softness is required for that, even coming from someone who's been through so much and is so strong. So he's really fucking cool guy. So anyone who's listening should check him out. If you don't already know about him, one of a girl I went to high school with and friend, she recommended him to me, and yeah, it's really good stuff.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into it. And I'm gonna hop on the audiobook thing too, because there's so many things that I want to read.
Oh my God, that's what I do when I work out. I audiobook.
Oh my gosh, I was actually just like giggling to myself when I was working out this morning, listening to like death metal. And I was like,
Yeah,
thinking to myself, laughing. I was like, how do people listen to audiobooks and podcasts when they work out? I need
just like
noise.
I don't know, like I found like I get too lost in the music, and because I listen to such motivating speakers and authors, it's like literally all I choose to fill my ears with. I think that's why it's like it makes me go. Like I'm like, you guys are sharing your stories of absolute defeat, and I am so inspired by that I'm just going to keep like I'm building this life, right? As part of my manifesting. Plus I keep my vision board in the gym. So I see that 5 days a week, I'm staring at that thing while I'm working out, and I'm reminded. Yeah. That's all of those little things. So what's your big picture plan?
The big picture plan has really, it's really funny for me because I do get really big glimpses of what I could see. But then I kind of go into that direction, super driven with a kind of an end game focus. And then I kind of flop back into, I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of happy with how things are flowing. So I kind of wiggle back and forth between the two. I do know that I'm really enjoying learning how to be in the virtual space. And Strong Spirit was a really great learning opportunity for me. Like I said, it was one of my first times offering something of that nature. And then shifting into the Ashwood Wellness Collective. This is my first, this was my pilot container, and I really, really loved it. And we're continuing on with the next one starting on April 11th. Cool. And coming out on the other side of this pilot, I'm really, really enjoying the idea that I can reach more people and connect further and deeper and stretch my arm out a little bit more in the virtual space. So I am hoping to spend a little bit more time there and get to know it a little bit more. There's always been some hesitancy from me to go there because my background is very much in person, starting with the massage therapy and then edging into personal training and group fitness for the past several years. I'm pretty neurotic when it comes to my training style. I really love everybody to be moving as optimally as possible.
Right.
Just like absolutely beautiful movement mechanics. So I found that some of my hesitancy for going into virtual coaching and virtual training is that I don't get to nitpick that same way. But in the same way, that's kind of been a really cool release for me because it is just so natural for us to move. And I'm finding coming on the other side of this first one that everybody's really, really happy with the way they're moving. Not to mention they send me form videos and stuff all the time. So I still get to put in my 2 cents wherever I possibly can. But I am hoping to continue to build that and to have more collaborations and on a more kind of personal, lovingly selfish side of things, striving for freedom. Up until the last couple of years, I absolutely just ran myself into the ground working for so many other people. I was always stretched out into several different projects, working full-time retail, waking up at 4 a.m. to train people before that shift, working for 8 hours, then going back to the gym and training 3 more people till 9 p.m. Just grind culture. And even 2 years later out of that, I'm still recovering.
It is very hard on all of you living that way. Yeah.
It really is.
So do you think the virtual space has been able to help you shift some of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I still work all the time. I think just as small business owners, and you know that all too well, that it's never really over. And as soon as you finish your list, you look over and there's 30 more things on the back end. But the coolest part is that it's all things that we've chosen.
Totally.
We've chosen to be here. We've chosen every project. We've chosen the depth that we were willing to go. And it makes that extra work and those late nights and stuff so much more worth it. So I am finding that slowly but surely that freedom is just edging its way in more and more. And it's really cool to just sort of watch it happen. I've been very adamant of not pushing. I don't really push in any which way. I don't even really push my own sales or marketing very much. I've just kind of allowed things to happen and tried to just open up myself to receive. And so far it's been really incredible.
Well, your energy definitely reflects, what's opening up for you in your life. And it all sounds very beautiful and aligned.
It's a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun watching it unfold. And yeah, just so I guess my end result, I don't really have an end game. Big picture for me is that I hope I get to continue to work with more and more beautiful souls, connect people back to spirit more and more, because that is a tricky niche I've found myself in this industry. But that's
what makes you so unique too.
Yeah.
That deep depth that, of being in that spirit space, the truth in that it's mind, body, spirit. You have the knowing.
It's really cool to share and to see other people slowly but surely edging into that, even if it's just in tiny spaces, like we had talked about in Strong Spirit, like mind body work, deep mind body work in exercise, using exercise as a means of a meditation and grounding. It's
Getting
really
into
cool
your body.
to have those conversations with people, and I just can't wait to keep having them, because it seems like it's kind of that ball is starting to roll more and more. So very happy.
Awesome. Well, the work you're doing is amazing. What do you wish, so I work with women, and I would assume that most of my listeners are women. They are. What do you wish women knew?
Oh, what do I wish that women knew? Well, absolutely. In terms of where I find myself doing the most work, is how unknowing women are of their capabilities,
Mm.
which is actually so much fun to work with because everybody comes out on the other side just feeling strong as all hell. I've just had countless, I'm talking like 50 plus women that have kind of wiggled their way through my work, whether it's in personal training, group fitness, virtual space, um, that really sort of coddled, in my opinion, just in a sense, coddled themselves when it came to movement and exercise. The coolest thing is that most of us have absolutely no idea how strong we are. And in this, I'm talking physically strong.
Yep.
I have clients that didn't even touch a dumbbell. I have one in particular that really didn't do any free weight training. She didn't do any lifting. We started in September, and she's crushing like massive compound lifts in the gym now, like way exceeding anything that I could possibly do. And it's just such an absolute joy to work with her and have constant conversations about how empowering it is to lift heavy and feel incredibly strong. But the sad part is that so many girls have no idea of this strength, and they tend to dial it back. That could be from a safety space. More often than not, it's from a space where we've been conditioned to believe
I was
that
gonna say
being
conditioning.
strong isn't sexy.
Yeah.
Being strong makes you
And that we're
bulky
not
and
strong.
manly, and that we're not strong.
Yeah.
We're meant to be delicate. So I wish that more women knew that we're strong as fuck. And
yeah. Meanwhile, we're
can
squeezing like children out of our vaginas. So
yeah,
I mean,
right?
not a big deal.
I saw
Hardly
a funny
hurts.
meme about how like a funny just stupid fitness meme about how women will like carry their like 80-pound kid up the stairs.
You shared it, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
A kid
We're saying we're weak.
Yeah, but they won't like pick up like a barbell. So
yeah. You
I
got
do
a
wish
kid on your lap, groceries, a purse, like you have every single thing. You're carrying 80 pounds up the stairs, no problem. You're like,
exactly.
oh, I can't lift
but
weights.
using 5-pound dumbbells in the gym. So, and I mean, that's a very physical sense. I do wish women knew that, but it goes hand in hand with everything else.
All the same. Yep. You're strong. Your strength starts up in here and in here, right? Like, you've got to believe it, and you've got to lead with that fierce heart.
And push a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Push a little bit. Yeah. Just sometimes it's okay to just be a little bit tough. And
I think and that's what you're saying with like there's like a holding back that takes place for women, right? Is like this fear to push forward. And that is that deep conditioning of like staying small, right? Staying small and staying quiet and you know, just look good on the outside and be safe and do what's easy.
It's no fun. It's no fun. It doesn't have to be lifting things, but we are absolutely a million times stronger than we think we are. And I do wish we knew that.
In so many ways, mind, body, spirit.
Yeah. And honestly, the women that I know that have pushed that boundary and just pushed a little bit harder and worked a little bit harder in the gym, it really just was like cascading waterfalls because that strength showed up in so many other ways in their life that they didn't even realize. And it took pushing that physical strength to the next level to really get the ball rolling for other things that were happening internally or in their own lives, whether it's just basic assertion or taking a step forward. It's pretty incredible.
I really feel that. And I think that's huge. I don't think that if you don't feel strong physically, I think it's very hard to feel strong mentally and emotionally and spiritually. I really do. Okay. So what do you think are secrets to success?
Ooh, secrets to success. Well,
I also really want to mention, this is like so off topic, but I want to mention how, because it just keeps, every time you say it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying. So you love to use the term edging. And I don't know if you say edging like all the time. You say like edging into it. So I just want you to know that edging is also a form of having an incredible orgasm.
yeah,
So
yeah, I do know that. I mean, if that adds passion to
I
what
like that you're
say.
throwing it in there. I mean, I am just thinking about orgasm every single time I hear you say edging, which I don't mind thinking about at all. So
Yeah,
for those of you that don't know, it is just bringing yourself to climax almost, and then pulling back, and then bringing yourself back to climax, and then pulling back, and then when you finally allow yourself to orgasm, bringing all that orgasm energy inside the body. So,
oh my gosh,
I just want to throw that out there. And that's a fucking secret to success.
Yeah, 100%. There's the secret right there. And I mean, talking with the passion and everything, I think that'll be easier for listeners to retain what we're saying if we're bringing a little bit of hypersexuality into it.
I like it.
So secret to success, I'm not really sure. Honestly, that's something that I'm learning constantly every day. I follow a lot of really beautiful content online, to be honest. Can't think of any handles right now, but of just trying to connect to at least in terms of business, to connect to business in a spiritual way. I've found that staying grounded, in many ways, it's been a huge challenge for me my whole life, because I swear I'm just one foot in another door at every given moment. But staying really grounded and allowing moments of rest to be really incredibly valuable for me. I feel like in our society, in our Western world, whether you're running a small business or trying to get ahead in a corporate business space, that we're always pushing incredibly hard. Pushing. Grind culture is insane and so highly promoted that I feel we're all just in this constant state of burning out. So I've found that the more I allow myself rest, moments of grounding, moments of connection, mental health days, the more I've really poured into that, the more I've really opened myself to receive. And that's probably the most valuable thing I've learned about running my own business so far. And I know other people that run business or have had things like sole proprietorships that really look at me like I'm absolutely bonkers for not pushing really hard. But it's brought me blessings so far. So that's probably my biggest advice is
I think that's
rest.
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself so you can take care of business.
Yeah, exactly. Can't pour from an empty cup, right?
Exactly. And so much can be learned just in that right there.
Yeah, I hope so. It's been so much for me. So we talk about rest all the time in my practice. And I really try to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming and chatting with me today. I have missed you. We really haven't touched base much since our program ended, and it was 3 months ago.
Time is a fickle thing. It's been blowing my mind lately. Yeah, we should absolutely just connect and have a tea or coffee or something really soon.
Yes, a non-virtual meetup would be incredible.
I love seeing people in the flesh.
I know, it's exciting. It's very exciting. So I will hopefully talk to you soon in person. I'm going to put all of Ashely's information in the show notes so you can give her a follow. You can go join her virtual programs. You can join her in-person programs. You can go and get your well of knowledge filled by everything that this beautiful woman knows. And thank you so much for being here again. And I hope to see and talk to you and work with you again very soon.
Me as well. Thank you so much for having me. This has been a ton of fun. And yeah, let's get something in the works. I think it would be a lot of fun to work together.
Awesome. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
I came from the mud.